to do video number 4. This is on unit rate. And unit rate is actually something that's very, very, very useful. Very, very, very relevant. And if you go to the grocery store, you'll see unit rate all the time. So I'm going to do 3 examples. And basically what a unit rate means is what is something per or for every or each. These are all ways, these words are all ways you know we're talking about unit rate. And basically it's when your denominator becomes 1. So I'm going to do 3 quick examples. Denver, Colorado is about 1,800 miles from New Paltz. I know, I drove it. It took me about 32 hours. What was my speed in miles per hour? So basically, here is the key right here. This word, this phrase here, miles per hour. That per is telling you that you are going to have a unit rate. And they want per 1 hour, all right? So I'm going to have miles, and I'm going to have hours, and this goes back to my rates video. So if you didn't see my rates video, you can always go back and take a look at that. So how many miles did I drive? I drove 1,800 miles, so I'm going to put that in my numerator, and it took me about 32 hours. So that means I'm looking for how many miles, right? What was my speed in miles per hour? So once again, you could do cross product, and if you do, you're going to get 32. You're going to get 32 times x is equal to 1,800 times 1. And when you do that, you get 32x equals 1,800. And then we're going to divide by 32. All right, now I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to stop right there. And I want you to take a look at what we're now saying. Right now, if I divide out 32x by 32, I'm just going to get x equals. But look what it equals. 1,800 divided by 32. Well, that was my rate. 1,800 over 32. So when I divide 1,800 by 32, I get 56.25. Now, once again, that's my x value. And if you go back up here, x is talking about miles. So my actual answer is my speed is 56.25 miles per 1 hour. That is my unit rate. I went 56.25 miles for every 1 hour. Now, the nice thing is, it then says, part 2 of this question says, the first day I drove for 10 hours. I should do this in orange. So, now I have my unit rate, which is miles per hour. So if I went 10 hours, well, 10 is going to go into my denominator. And all you're going to notice, I'm hoping, is once you have your unit rate, it's super easy. It's just going to be x equals 56.25 times 10. So it looks like I went 562.5 miles that first day. All right? And once again, if I'm going too fast, and I'm sure I am, feel free to rewind, feel free to go back, feel free to pause. So what I'm saying here is basically this. I'm going to try to get rid of, I'm not sure if I can. Well, let's just do this. Basically what I'm saying is this. If you're trying to find the unit rate, and you know you're looking for unit rate because of this word, when you see things like miles per hour, that just means that our denominator is going to be 1. But you still have to be careful because you still need to make sure that you have the miles in your numerator and your hour is in the denominator, and now it's just going to be 1,800 miles, and you're just going to divide that by 32 hours. And when you do, instead of having to do cross product, just by dividing, you're going to get, what did I say my answer was? 56.25 miles for 1 hour. All right, so like I said, it's super easy. You're going to just take your numerator and divide it by the denominator. All right, part 2. Now this is where it's actually quite useful. It says 4 rolls of toilet paper cost $6. 10 rolls of toilet paper cost $13.50. Which is a better buy? So if I'm going to spend $6 for 4 rolls, what is the unit rate here? So if I just divide 6 divided by 4, I'm going to realize I get it's $1.50 for each roll. All right, well, now let's take a look at the other option. I could pay $13.50 for 10 rolls, but if you divide $13.50 divided by 10, you're going to get $1.35 per 1 roll. Now, whether or not you buy 10 rolls or you buy 4 rolls is completely up to you. You might, the reality is, if you don't use that much toilet paper, you might not want to store 10 rolls, so maybe you will just buy the 4 rolls. Who knows? I can't make those decisions for you. That's up to you. Anywho, the last question says, I can walk 3/4 of a mile in 2/5 of an hour. What is my speed in miles per hour? So once again, I'm looking for miles per hour. That key word is per. So let's see, I'm going to have miles, and I'm going to have hour. And so let's see, I can walk 3/4 of a mile. 3/4 goes in my numerator over hours, 2/5. So once again, you're still just dividing 3/4 divided by 2/5. So if I do 3/4 divided by 2/5, I get 1.875 miles for every 1 hour. And that's it. That's all there is to it. You're just dividing. And by the way, if you wanted to, you could say 3/4 divided by 2/5 becomes 3/4 times 5/2 because of your keep, change, flip, and this would give you 15/8, which is equal to 1 7/8 miles for every 1 hour. And I hope that helps. Unit rate is super useful, super important, especially for like my second example. Don't let the third example in green freak you out. You're just dividing fractions, all right?